And there's been a lot of stuff that I've been wanting to talk about. Nothing too, like, bombshell drops and everything. It's just stuff that's on my mind that I just want to talk about more so than anything else. Because behind the scenes, boy howdy, I need to just basically rant about Twitch again. So you know this is gonna be good. Because anytime that I get to rail on Twitch, it's just wonderful. I always wanna do that, and it's just so much fun to poke at a site that I used to use, that I was actually moderately successful with, and then they just decided to just do everything possible to give me every reason to leave. And I did leave. And they still think I want to come back. So they're doing everything in their power to make sure that I have every single reason in the book to freaking not. It's like, don't tease me, Twitch. I already said I was never coming back. You could stop now. So, I'm gonna get to the meat and potatoes of things that I have discovered and things that have really cemented Twitch as the worst streaming platform out there right now. And that's saying a lot because Kick is right there, where you have people literally ODing on fentanyl live on stream. So I don't really know how Twitch can get any worse. But I almost feel like at this point, they're generally trying to attack me directly, even though I'm not on the site anymore. And I don't stand why they're wasting their time like that. So, let me bring you up to speed with what I saw that brought me to this point. So, let me make one thing abundantly clear to anyone who's already aware of me personally, as well as people who may not be aware of me personally. Because I've said this before, I've brought this stuff up, and I feel as though it just needs some reiteration, as it were. So first and foremost, need I remind everyone here, I am Catholic. Let's make this abundantly clear and get this out of the way. I am Catholic. I go to church on Sunday as often as I can. I believe the God, Father, Almighty, Creator of heaven and earth, and there's not a dang thing anyone can do to stop that from getting me to change my mind. My faith is unshakable, unbreakable. All of that is set in stone. It is the foundation of my moral center. Though I trip and fall every once in a while with what I do, I try and adhere to what my God tells me to do, to the best of my freaking abilities, as a lowly little human, as a lowly little mortal. If anybody here has a problem with that, I'm sorry, I will pray for you. But knowing you guys, and how awesome, wholesome, and amazing you are as a community, I doubt any of you have a problem with this. Regardless of your personal opinions, your sort of whatever stances and everything, conflicting ideologies and beliefs, we all do not care about the differences. And that's what makes us freaking awesome. So, I just need to make that abundantly clear before I go into the meat and potatoes of this as to why my fellow Christians, Catholics, and everybody other denominations within the church are being discriminated by Twitch. And how do I know this? Let's just get right into that. So, there's a YouTuber, content creator, streamer that I've recently discovered who goes by the name of Celestium. Wonderful individual, wonderful little tax accountant, pink-haired VTuber, who has, like me, absolutely no qualms with talking about her love for Jesus, her belief in God, and everything that comes with the territory. She has absolutely no problem with it and goes out of her way to make sure that people are aware of it. With that sort of mindset and being a content creator on the internet in this year 2026 and so on and so forth, unfortunately, that puts a very, very big target on your back. Even more so with her because 1, woman, 2, vtuber, 3, conflicting beliefs. Mainly because she's Eastern Orthodox, from what I've been able to pick up. Spark, thanks for the $2 there. I'm gonna get somewhere. I'm gonna get to somewhere on this. Just bear with me. She's Eastern Orthodox. There's a few differences between Eastern Orthodox versus Catholic. I'm not as well versed in that, but needless to say, both of us are Christians. Just carte blanche, keep it as simple as possible. So we believe in the same things, just different approaches, practices, all that other stuff. So she naturally has a huge freaking target on her back, given the circumstances of who she is, how she presents herself, and what she believes. And given how the internet operates nowadays, nobody's scared anymore. Nobody questions anything or second guesses themselves or thinks, is this a good idea? Is it? They never pause to think before they hit enter on the little tweet or post or whatever it is that they're throwing out there. And needless to say, somebody has had a major hate boner for Celestium. Oh boy. Did it just hiccup again? I saw a little dip, but it looks like it's still holding. I saw one little dip, but I think we're fine. I think we're good. I think we're good. Either way, though, continuing on with where I was. Needless to say, she was dealing with a pretty big stalker, who I think's only big gripe was that she has a strong faith. Like, she believes in everything that her faith tells her to do, and she executes on it. And unfortunately, she would not bend the knee. And so this stalker took it upon themselves to launch a one-man hate crusade against her for nothing. And it got so bad that they even went out of their way to quite literally mass report her on Twitch. And Twitch banned her for hateful conduct for a week. The week expires, I believe, by tomorrow. If I remember correctly, as the post would indicate. She was banned about a week ago. And the thing about that is, Twitch, isn't there a bannable offense for report spamming? There is. But I'll get to why their terms of service is absolute dog water and very biased. But follow me on this. So Celestium went through the appropriate channels, appealed the ban because she wasn't even aware of what was the trigger, what was the clip or the context or whatever that required such an action to occur. Her appeal got denied, and Twitch essentially ghosted her. Would not tell her what the offending material was. Wouldn't do anything about it. left her completely in the dark. So Celestium has to just sit there, waiting, biding her time until the ban basically just expired. Did this make her question her faith? Absolutely the hell no. Did it make her bend the knee to the forces that were conspiring against her? Absolutely the hell no. So I really don't know what the point of it all was, to do all of this, if absolutely nothing was going to change after the fact. She's going to come back to Twitch. She's going to continue doing the same things that she's always been doing. She's going to continue preaching the good word that she's wanting to preach. She's going to continue doing the things that she's always been doing for the sake of being a positive influence. All because her faith tells her to, which I find to be extremely admirable. The Catholic in me agrees. And I bring this up because quite literally, while Celestium was sitting in the dark waiting for her ban to be done, who comes in and just shows the hypocrisy of Twitch in all of its glory but Hassan? Good ol' Hassan Diddy Bin Laden Epstein Piker rears his tiny, tiny, tiny little head again and does a thing that any normal person would get immediately permabanned for, and he doesn't even get a slap on the wrist. He badmouthed a US military veteran, which is, as per Twitch's code of conduct, is considered a protected minority. He's supposed to be banned for that. And he wasn't. Someone even went out of their way to test this and created an entire new Twitch account, went live, typed the exact same statement, words, punctuation, phrases, everything that Hassan had said to this veteran that he was bad-mouthing. Like literally the full 9 miles of wishing him to suffer from his PTSD. This is what he was saying. Like literally wishing ill will on a protected minority. And this guy with this new Twitch account types the exact same thing that Hassan had said, word for word, punctuation for punctuation. That account was banned in 2 minutes. And Hassan didn't even get a slap on the wrist. Do you see why I will never return to Twitch? Even if Ultimate Gooning Lord Dan Clancy gets deposed or whatever, I will never return to the platform. Even if it goes full tilt in the other direction and becomes basically a Catholic streaming service, I freaking won't. Because I know where it came from. The devil's got a strong grip on everybody's balls over at Twitch. And they're basically asking for it to be harder, Daddy. That is essentially. Is Hassan their mascot or something? Pretty much. He's their golden boy. They go out of their way to sing happy birthday to him on the reg. Let's put this into perspective, and this will give you a clear insight into Twitch's overall mindset, its moral compass, its political direction. Hassan loves terrorists. Hezbollah is his favorite flag. He's really sad that Iran's supreme leader, who likes gunning down protesters, was himself killed. He's very butt sad about that and doesn't know how to cope with one of his favorite dictators being offed. He blames everything bad in the world on Israel. he would probably blame my criticisms on Israel. Anyone who disagrees with him is a Nazi, a pedophile, a racist, a fascist, all the buzzwords as is. He's got a teeny, tiny little head. His hair is falling out. He shocks his dog on the reg. Let's not forget that he actually shocked his dog live on stream and is constantly trying to downplay, like, oh, it didn't happen. Came up with 8 different excuses as to why it wasn't a shock collar until he ultimately just gave up and nobody will let him live it down. So yeah, Twitch is in league with terrorist sympathizers, with dog abusers, with dictator glazers, with Diddy party enjoyers. They're in league with sexual abusers. They are definitely in league with some pedophiles. Let's be honest there as well. They most definitely are. And their dinosaur of a CEO is a professional gooner. No streaming platform is perfect. Oh, of course, Polygon, that stands for reason. No, YouTube has its imperfections. Kick has a plethora of imperfections. I haven't done anything with Rumble, but I know their record isn't squeaky clean either. And Twitch is Twitch. So we have, on one hand, we have Celestium, who is doing nothing but exercising her right to freedom of religion and just speaking her piece and not causing any problems, and getting banned because one guy got butthurt over her. And the internet did what the internet does with him. I'll get back to him. So you've got Celestium getting banned for being Christian, and you've got Hassan being protected because he loves terrorism. You tell me where the moral compass goes with Twitch. It's such a problem that desperately needs to be addressed, and everybody is holding Twitch accountable. And much like Celestium's ban report, Twitch is ghosting everybody. They don't want to admit that they are in league with a terrorist sympathizer, a Diddy party enjoyer, a dog-shocking abuser. All of them. They don't want to address the fact that they harbor some of the worst of the worst. But when someone is actually going out of their way to do something good, actually bring some positivity, some hope, and some peace in this world, we gotta shut that down immediately. We gotta stop them from doing anything of the sort there. It's so freaking ridiculous. Every time I think Twitch can't plumb new lows, and they somehow find a new shovel with a sharper blade to dig even further. I just don't get it. It really shocks me, not as much as Kaya, that Twitch just keeps finding a way. And I'm so incredibly thankful that I finally took the necessary step to just disassociate myself from the platform. I commend Celestium for sticking on the platform as long as she has, given everything that site is essentially trying to do against her. But that is kind of the Christian way when you think about it. That is kind of how it works. I mean, it's exactly how Jesus operated. He went into an area that was so hostile to him and did not budge an inch. And Celestium is kind of doing the exact same thing. She's going into the lion's den and just doing her thing. Nobody's gonna stop her. Nobody's going to halt her. Nobody's going to make her question anything about her beliefs, ideals, and faith. She's gonna keep on going, and there's not a damn thing anybody can do to stop it. 'Cause our faith kind of has a way of just always getting stronger the more people try to stop us. It's weird like that, and I've seen it happen so many times, and there's so many historical records to the fact that anytime anyone tries to silence our faith, it just gets bigger. It just gets louder. It gets even more difficult to cage in. It really just doesn't. When they just really need to stop trying to stop us. And that sounds a little bad. It's like, you can't stop us. That kind of has a little bit of a negative connotation. But when you just know that we're just being like, we just want people to be happy. We want people to see the light and just come around and be happy and peaceful and just be at rest. Be at peace. Accept everybody for who they are, regardless of beliefs and differences and everything. We don't want division and strife and conflict. We want to meet you on level playing fields and just exist peacefully without conflict. That's all we're trying to do. And for some strange reason, everybody just tries to shut us up on that front. But Christianity has a way of always just coming back even stronger than it is before. It may be a little bit sacrilegious to make this comparison, but Christianity is almost like a hydra to a degree. You cut off one head, two more pop up. It just keeps getting larger. It just keeps getting bigger. And it keeps getting more and more difficult to just stop. It's quite literally the best course of action is to just not. And that's not even me saying the best course of action against Christianity is to submit. That is in no way, shape, or form what I'm pushing here. God, no, that is nothing like the sort. Like trying to put out a campfire with gasoline. An apt comparison there. A very apt comparison there, Subspace. And needless to say, Celestium's a good example of trying to shut a Christian up, and then they just become even more powerful. Like freaking Obi-Wan Kenobi. You strike me down, I shall become more powerful than you could possibly imagine. It's crazy. It is crazy, to say the least. And in all honesty, Twitch's time is coming where they're going to have to answer for all the debaucherous, illegal stuff that they've been getting away with for quite some time. And need I remind everybody already that Twitch itself is a dying platform. Like, it is hemorrhaging money left, right, and center, and is being propped up by Big Daddy Bezos and Amazon as a whole. It's kind of nuts that it's been trucking along for as long as it has, given its financial instability. And I don't know how much longer it will last. It'll probably make it another year, maybe. But I really have to say, Twitch is going to have to make a decision here. It is going to have to do something to address the elephant in the room. All of the terrorist sympathizing, dog abusing, sexual assaulting creators that are out there right now on their platform need to freaking go. They need to freaking clean house if they want to save themselves. It really comes down to that. They have to kick the devil out if they want to survive. And right now, he's got a strong stranglehold on them. Which do you think will go first, Kick or Twitch? Honestly, it's anybody's game right now there. I mean, Kick's got people ODing live on camera and getting into car accidents. Twitch has people literally sexually assaulting each other and abusing their dogs. It's literally a potato-potato, tomato-tomato situation, and in all honesty, both of them could just fall off a cliff. It's just disgusting, to say the least. Which is why I find it so hypocritical and honestly quite a little bit funny that you have someone like Celestium coming in and trying to actually do some good, inject some faith, literally bring everybody to Jesus, and they're immediately shutting her up. And it's crazy that, you've got this bad element that is just seeping into every single pore and crack in all of these different platforms, and they just don't want to have any good element being fostered. They don't want anyone to actually be a positive influence on their site. Because it's honestly just like the news. Bad news sells more. Nobody wants to hear about good things. Nobody wants to actually have a good time with this. They want to see somebody doing some horrible, heinous, degenerate, debaucherous stuff. Because that's what will draw the viewers back in and get us that sweet, sweet ad revenue. That's more or less, I think, the wagon that Twitch has hitched itself to. And in all honesty, I look at Twitch and Kick kind of at the same level, which is ironic because Kick was made to counter Twitch because Twitch wouldn't let Kick gamble all of its money. So, quite literally, a couple streamers on Twitch weren't allowed to gamble anymore, so they went and made their own platform, quite literally, with better than Twitch, with gambling and hookers. I'm not even kidding. That is the mindset of Kick. Whereas Twitch is propped up by Amazon, Kick is propped up by Stake, which is a gambling website. This feels like the same thing that Rumble did against YouTube. Again, I can't speak for Rumble. I don't know much about like any controversies or anything that Rumble has gotten into, so your guess is as good as mine as to how that goes down. But for all intents and purposes, I'm not going to stray away from possibly giving Rumble a shot as far as multi-streaming is concerned. I just know I can't bring myself to go to Kick after everything that I've seen from that platform. I've seen it start out, and it was basically the Wild West of everything wrong with the internet just being popularized. If there's a degenerate streamer that you're aware of that's just been getting up to some heinous stuff, chances are they're partnered with Kick. Chances are that's where a majority of their audience is. And yeah, Kick has just for the longest time had a very, very bad reputation as such. I honestly think Celestium's kind of going into an even bigger lion's den streaming over there too. But I'll give Kick credit. They're not banning her. Then again, they don't ban anybody, which is a bit of a problem. But I'll at least give them that. They aren't banning Celestium because she's practicing her faith, like Twitch did. But needless to say, going back to Celestium's unjust, unwarranted, and uncalled for ban because one guy is psychotically like having her live rent-free in his head. Well, the internet did what the internet did, and they found all of his info. Scared the living daylights out of him, and now he's like begging, pleading, and crying for everyone to leave him alone. To which I say, you reap what you have sown. You made your bed, now lie in it. It's funny how that happens. You were talking so much crap and causing so much of a ruckus that when it gets directed back at you, you immediately turn tail and run. Shows who was the stronger of the two when it came to this sort of thing. It's uncalled for. But if there's ever a silver lining or anything that has come out of this and everything, Celestium has only gotten more and more popular as the days have gone on. I'm gonna quickly look up and just see what she's currently sitting at right now. Because it's nothing to shy away from. She's closing in on 20,000 subscribers on YouTube, which is really impressive to say the least. And I'm curious as to where she's sitting at as far as her Twitch is concerned, because I know Twitch is where it's a lot more significant for her. Let me see if I can even look at her stuff, if she's still banned technically. 8,500 followers, closing in on 10,000 followers on Twitch as well. Needless to say, she's only gotten more popular because everybody's trying to shut her up. And I mean, I didn't know anything about her until her cancel campaign had gone underway, and I'm like, okay, what's her story? Look into it, find absolutely nothing wrong, nothing but wholesome things that I totally agree with, faith-based wise. And I subscribed. I haven't followed her on Twitch because I don't want to do anything with Twitch right now if I can avoid it. And I even helped contribute to getting her a Switch 2 for Pokopia as well, which did get funded, so you see how that works out? It's wonderful. These are the kinds of people that are trying to be shut up, that are trying to be silenced. These God-fearing, positive role model being individuals. Apparently, we need to be shut up. We need to stop talking. We need to know our place, apparently. And unfortunately, that's not how this works. Because you can try and cancel me on the internet. You can try and end my streaming career in every way, shape, and form. And to which I have to kindly respond, what streaming career? This is part-time for me. I'm a fully employed forklift operator in real life. We could have one massive solar flare knock the entire internet out for a year, and I wouldn't lose any sleep. Meanwhile, you've got all of these terminally online individuals that will just essentially pull all remaining hair out of their head, going mad because they can't do anything of the sort. Meanwhile, I'll just be back at the warehouse, tooting my little horn, making sure I don't run anybody over with my forklift. My world will continue to spin while theirs falls apart. So to that end, I find Celestium to be a little bit of an inspiration on that front. It's how you combat the darkness on the internet that tries to stop you from just being you. And this is regardless of whether or not you're whether or not you're someone of faith or not. It really just comes down to, do your beliefs and your ideals and your way of thinking, does it hurt anybody by thinking the way that you think or believing in the things that you believe? Does it go out of its way to hurt anybody in any way, shape, or form? If the answer is no, you're not really a problem. and can be easily left alone, and everything, and the world will be just fine. It's only those that are going out of their way to actually hurt people, fueled by either their own beliefs or the contradiction to them. I mean, I will say this, and this I'm going to get a little bit, I don't know if you really can call this political when I'm just pointing out the obvious. When you try and shut up the opposition because you don't agree with them, you kind of lose the argument. The whole point of it is that people are allowed to agree and disagree and still come out as the victors, however petty that may be. But the second that you try and shut somebody up just simply for speaking their own mind, you kind of lose the argument. Well, not kind of, you just do. You automatically lose the argument. If what they're saying isn't hurting anybody or going out of their way to ruin people's lives, they have every right to speak their mind then. But if what you're saying puts people in harm's way, actually causes people to get hurt, or worse, that's when it is a problem. And that's when it does need to be stopped. For the betterment of everybody else. That's why I say Hassan needs to be deplatformed. That's why I say that Needlin needs to be arrested. That's why I think Denims needs to get a job. And that's why I say Frogan needs to seriously look into Weight Watchers. This sort of mindset is just not healthy. It is just not good. These people need to be put in their place as far as accountability is concerned. It really does. And we're kind of getting a little bit too complacent with just letting these people run rampant, as it were, and getting a free pass to just be the absolute worst people on the planet. And then you have somebody like Celestium coming in and just preaching the good word because she feels like she needs to. She feels a calling to do so, to express her faith and just sort of be a guiding light to people that are wandering aimlessly and being led astray by these degenerate individuals. And then she's the one getting silenced. She's the one getting banned. But she's gonna come back tomorrow, louder than ever before, stronger than ever before. And there's not a damn thing anybody can do to stop her. There's not a damn thing anybody can do to stop me. There's not a damn thing anybody can do to stop us. Because all we want at the end of the day is for everybody to be at peace, to be happy, to see the freaking light. One way or another, in your own way. I'm not here to convert. I'm here to comfort. It's kind of poetic in that way. Because you can see, quite literally in real time, people like Hassan are falling off. He's losing followers and subscribers at a breakneck speed, and he's getting angrier and angrier and angrier, and more impotent as the days progress. And then you have somebody like Celestium, whose faith has remained unshaken, unbroken, unfaltering. And she's only becoming more popular. She's only becoming more relevant. Her voice is getting louder, while Hassan's is getting quieter. And Twitch is desperately trying to prop him up to the best of their abilities at the cost of everything. And Celestium is just doing her thing. Quite literally, since she's a Christian VTuber, quite literally has the power of God and anime on her side. And dare I say, that is a very potent combination. It's poetic, to say the least. So, if you guys do have the opportunity, and I'm actually gonna drop her YouTube in the chat just for the sake of it, I would suggest going and checking her out. Show your support. Tell them Viger sent you. They're doing their thing, or she's doing her thing, and proud of it. Again, you don't have to agree with her on everything. It would be a little bit crazy if you did agree with her on literally everything. Then I think you're a little bit of a sycophant to that regard. But she's just out here doing her thing. Her positive little thing. The equivalent of a Twitch raid. As much as YouTube would allow, which I really think YouTube needs to step up their streaming game. Since Twitch is going under, YouTube is in a prime position to really up their ante and just get better at the whole streaming thing. They need to really become the new Twitch, because Twitch can't do it anymore. In a perfect world, we would have that ability to do so, just to have YouTube actually being competent in its streaming platform. It's only a matter of time. They have an opportunity to seize, and I really think they just need to step up their game and actually grab it with both hands and do it. I really think that's what they need to do. But yeah, go check Celestium out. They have, she has the Viger seal of approval. For as much as that is worth. From one Christian to another. Yeah.